But I know that in my own life that there have been those times where I'm just like, I can't feel God. I'm going to go and I'm going to sit in his presence. And whether I walk away having encountered him or not, there's beauty in the walking toward him.
Welcome to More Than Small Talk. We're Susie Eller,
Jennifer Watson,
and Holly Girth, writers and real-life friends. We're inviting you to go deeper, become freer, and feel more connected.
So imagine you have a cup of coffee, a mug of tea, or a green smoothie in your hand,
and we're all hanging out in your favorite place together.
Hey, More Than Small Talk friends. Welcome back. We are going through a mini series about things we often think but don't always say out loud. We did a little online research to find what are the phrases that people most often struggle with but might not share with anyone. So we have covered, I don't want to be angry, but I am. I don't know what's wrong with me. And this week we're talking about, I believe in God, but I don't feel close to him.
So when has God felt far away from you?
I mean, thankfully this season, I have not had any seasonal depression, but I would have to say those like winter months in the past, that's when I literally cannot feel anything. Like my words are gone. If I could hibernate, I would be like the happiest person in the world.
Yeah.
Just like take a bunch of snacks and just like sleep. That's when the depression and that mental, physical, all of that. I believed in him. I just could not feel him.
Yeah. I would say that the last few years actually has been a faith walk. And I think reading some books have been really helpful to me we've talked about this in the past, to know that Mother Teresa showed up every single day and loved people well, but would also say during some of those seasons, most of them, she didn't feel God at all, but she believed in him and she believed that she was valuable and that the world was valuable to him. It's been really encouraging to me because in my heart, I know that God is near. I do. I believe that with my whole heart. Yeah. But if I don't feel that he's close, I don't see that as a terrible thing. I think I'm human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet I know he's near.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think mine's the classic when I mess up. I still pull the Adam and Eve. I'm going to go hide behind a bush, and work on myself. And then when I'm more presentable, I'll, go looking for God again. But thankfully, he still comes looking for us and is like, hello, where
if
are
we
you?
find Holly naked behind a tree.
I mean, you never can tell.
Stranger things happen.
Okay.
So I think, it's so funny because I know better. I mean, it's been my whole life, but that is the reflex that like, if I make a mistake, especially in an area where I've been doing better and I know better, and here I am, like my first instinct is shame and hiding.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I think that is a very human thing.
Yeah,
I do think it's very human.
So it's almost not like God feels distance. I'm like, I need to put some distance between
Okay.
us.
You're putting yourself in a timeout.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay.
I put myself in a spiritual timeout so I can think about my attitudes and actions, and then I let myself come out when I think I'm ready to make better choices. Yeah. That's so funny. Yes. Yes. Like that.
So we always have these aha moments while we're chatting. It happens. I think that there's a misconception out there that we should feel God 24/7. And I think about if I put that same pressure on my relationship with my sweet husband, like I have to feel you all the time. You have to be right here. You have to be support. You have to do all of these things. That would be exhausting. And I know that God is capable, and I know all these things that I've studied about God. But what if our relationship of trust is that sometimes We feel him extremely close. And sometimes it feels like he's far away, but we go on the knowledge that he is not. And that in that faith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I sometimes think love is more love when you show up and do it when you don't feel it.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
love's easy to do the hearts and flowers and like
Yeah.
all
Sure.
of that. It's I don't feel anything right now, but I'm choosing anyway. Like
Yeah.
that's
Right.
deep love, committed love.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder too, we're in such a tender place in our world. And I know for me, when I first got on social media and started blogging, it felt like a small, friendly town. And it felt like way
Man,
back,
it's
like
changed.
2009,
Yes.
like,
Yes.
Yeah,
like
I agree with
15
you. I agree
years
with
ago,
you.
long ago.
Yeah.
And it felt like often I would get on there and be like, oh, like God is in that. God is in that. Like,
yes.
and often in our world today, when we turn on the news, when we go to social media, when we hear
Yeah.
heartbreaking stories and we see what people especially are doing to each other,
We're
like
seeing the
there's
underbelly.
something in us that goes, God is not in that.
Right.
And it's not that he's not present everywhere, that he's not ultimately in control, but when we see things that we just think that is not from him,
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like, unfortunately, and I'm not a pessimist, but it feels like we are confronted with that more often, spaces where it's hard to find God
I agree.
because of what humans are doing to block his character and goodness and love.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's part of it too, why for some of us, especially when we're tenderhearted, and that's hard to
it
be
is.
like, I just don't see you in as many places, even though I'm trusting that you're still there and you're still working and you're still going to figure all of this out for us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I think that's good.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I'm just thinking about my Enneagram. You know, I'm a 4, and so like I'm not afraid of anybody's like feelings, but there's times where I need to turn that off and not feel, or I need to listen to a song that, might not have Jesus in it. It might be like the bass line's thumping and you can dance to it. Like there's times that I have to just distract my mind because I feel too much, And so I feel like there's times where definitely saying, the world is so chaotic right now. Like, I don't want to feel that.
I hope you're enjoying this conversation. And if you're thinking, God feels far away and I don't even know what to do to begin to feel closer to him again, then my new 365 Devo, 365 Truths for Every Woman's Heart, is a gentle companion that will come alongside you. Here's how I look at it. Sometimes we are too tired to cook, but we still need to eat. So this is a Devo that you can say, all right, I don't have to cook. I don't have to mess with putting anything together. I can just sit down and enjoy, whether it's a snack or a meal that you need. So you can find out more about that at hollygirth.com/365. Download a free episode. And we hope that you, I'm repeating myself. And now back to our conversation.
I'm wondering, when I think about Jesus, there were times that he had a lot of people and long days. And it would say at the end of the day that he would go off by himself.
Yep.
And I wonder if at that point that everything felt a million miles away.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to shut it all down. And I'm just going to go sit in the presence of my Heavenly Father.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened in those moments. We're not privy to that. But I know that in my own life that there have been those times where I'm just like, I can't feel God. I'm going to go and I'm going to sit in his presence. And whether I walk away having encountered him or not, there's beauty in the walking toward him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think too, another thing that can do this to us is spiritual disappointment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a leader in our life that we have respected turns out to not be who we thought they were. We're seeing that a lot right now.
So much.
Or a church that we thought was a safe place turns out not to be.
Right.
And I think it's easy to say, well, that's not that's not Jesus. That's not God. Those are humans. But the reality is we are created to experience God and Jesus through humans.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when that gets broken, it's painful.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think it's natural for us to feel not as close to God in those
Yeah.
seasons.
Mhm.
And that God has
Absolutely.
compassion for that.
Mhm.
He's not like, you need to get past that and you never should have relied on them that much or looked up to them in that way. I think he's like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
was someone you trusted.
Yeah.
That you thought was representing me and they
Mhm.
let you down. And I can hold space while you heal from that.
That's so
Yeah,
good, Holly.
That's so good.
Because that's grief.
It's
That is.
grief.
That's grief.
Yes.
And I have heard that. And I worked with teenagers for 18 years
Mhm.
in my former church in a different state. And I'm watching their lives now as adults and as parents. And some of them went on into ministry. Some are doing really, really great. And you see their faith, and it feels like their faith is at a place of beauty. And then you see others who are wrestling, and we all wrestle in our faith. And some are really discouraged in their faith.
Mhm.
And I guess because I had this opportunity to do life with them in my own home for years and years, this is the question that they're coming and they're saying, hey, there were people in my life that like, man, they showed me Jesus. I went on trips with them. I broke bread with them. I so looked up to them. And now I'm so stinking confused because everything they taught me, they're doing the opposite. And I don't know what to do with that.
Mhm.
And so bringing that up is really important, is that there's grief there in that. It was like I really loved these people and I still do. That's why there's grief. But I am so confused
Mhm.
by the mixed messages that I've received.
Yeah. I think that's valid. And then I think another one is compassion fatigue.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
That's a really valid thing backed by
Mhm.
research that all of our nervous systems get to a
Yeah.
point where we cannot care at the same level that we have because it's just not sustainable.
We're not built to have as many negative
Yes.
messages that are coming our way
Yeah.
at all
good.
hours.
So it may also just be that our tank is so empty that we can't care
Yes.
anymore right now,
Yeah.
including about God. And I think same thing. Like I love, the classic story where Elijah like has a big victory and goes into the desert and it's
Yes.
like, I'm done. Take me out.
Yeah.
And God's like, here's a nap and a snack.
Yeah.
Like, like twice.
Yes.
And so I think, again, another place where God, I think, holds tenderness toward us. I don't think he says, why can't you care anymore? I think he says, you have given absolutely everything you have. You cannot fill your heart right now because you have given it as much as you possibly can in this season. So I don't think he's saying get it together. He's saying, well done, warrior. It's time to rest and be refilled. And I don't think at some point our nervous system is not capable of feeling close to God.
Yeah.
When we have given
Yes.
and given and given.
Yes.
And it is okay to say, like, that is where I am right now.
Yeah.
And that is not a failure. That is proof that I have loved well
Yeah.
for a very long time.
Yeah. There was a time in my faith that I felt God all the time. And I don't know why that season was like that. I remember, and this is going to make me just seem goofy, but I literally would just dance. Like I felt him so close. And I miss that. I do. But what I do know is I do know that he's still dancing with me. I do know that the rhythm is different. I do know that sometimes instead of dancing, it's walking side by side through the wilderness, or it's being in the dark and saying, God, I don't get it, and knowing that he listens. So acknowledging that there's different rhythms in our faith over time is also key, I think.
Something that helped me with the seasonal depression is to know that like the seasons change and that it was barren and cold and bleak, but like that time was going to end,
Yeah.
And so those seasons where I didn't feel him, I just started going, I can't wait till when I do. Like it's
Yeah.
coming,
Mhm.
and that's how I had to like reframe some of that. It's like I don't
Sure.
feel him now, but I will.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna enjoy that,
Yeah. I think some seasons are also just so full.
So full.
I mean, I think especially like for mamas with little kiddos,
Yeah.
Yes.
or people caring for aging parents, or if you're in a
Yes.
job where it's like you're, just
Yeah.
in it all the time. I think that is another reason that, and Brant Hansen recently said that to say the Lord's Prayer out loud is 23 seconds. And that was so reassuring to me because I feel like we also have this kind of myth of like, I need a huge block of time in my life or my day to be able to feel close to God. And if I miss that, then somehow I can't feel close to him.
Yeah.
But the reality is like, it's okay to also be like, I got 2 seconds in the car before my toddler throws the waffle fries, at the dog. And it is,
It's a mess.
yes. And so I think giving ourselves permission to say like, it is
Yeah.
okay if in certain seasons, it's very difficult to find
Yeah.
set aside time. We serve a God who came and lived among us. So why
Yeah.
would he not still want to be in the
Yes.
middle of all of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
You
That's good.
And we don't have to pretend with God. I had a gut honest prayer with the Lord the other day and I said, Lord, I'm not feeling you right now, but this is what I know. Deep in my bones, I know you're there. I know you see me. I know that you hear every word that I say. And also, I'm a little bit angry right now at some things that are going on. In fact, I don't know what to do about it at all. And it just became this just gut honest prayer with the Lord. And that's okay. In fact, that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
He can not only take in those words, but he can take some of that burden from you as you share them.
Yeah. That sounds a lot like Psalms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where everybody's like, where are you? What are you doing?
Yes.
Why have you forgotten me? When are you coming back? I don't like this. Take my enemies and smite them.
The
know?
imprecatory
Do you not see Saul?
Yeah. Do you not see what's happening here?
Yes.
So, yeah.
I played my harp for him and now he's trying to kill me.
Yeah.
What is going on with that?
What is up? I think there's just a lot of really valid reasons that we go through as humans that God's like, I get that. Not the first time I've seen this.
Yeah.
You are like one of 8 billion people on the planet. And there's been a lot of y'all who came before you. So this is not new. Whatever it is that's making you feel not close to him, I think, his promise is just, I'm here.
Yeah.
And I'm not going anywhere no matter what.
Yes. And so this is flipping it. So instead of saying, I believe in God, but I don't feel close to him, it's, I believe in God and I'm not feeling you right now, but I know who you are and I know who I am to you. And so it's a declaration of faith. I'm in a wrestling season right now, but God, that's okay because you're here.
And that's it for today's episode. Thanks for going deeper, becoming freer, and connecting with us. More Than Small Talk is a part of the KLRC Podcast Network and is produced by Kara Culver. Show notes and resources are available on the More Than Small Talk page on klrc.com. You can also join us in our Facebook group. Subscribe to More Than Small Talk on your favorite app so you won't ever miss an episode.